People often ask me what are the best controller and camera settings in FC. Well, today I've got the best for FC25, and you guys are going to need to follow all of this, so make sure you stay tuned for the entire video. What's the most important thing in FC25? Coins, right? And that's where lootbar.gg comes in, the cheapest place to buy your FC25 coins, but also the most reliable and the safest. They're also 8 to 10% cheaper than other platforms, and you also get 5% extra coins with every order. And if you don't just believe me, many well-known creators are using Lootbar for their coins. And many users usually stay with Lootbar, as you can see from these absolutely brilliant reviews. Lootbar also do offer a really fast delivery service which gets you your coins in 30 minutes. It is so simple to buy coins. All you need to do is click on what you want and then enter code VIPER at checkout to get 8% off your order. Now the first thing to cover is my camera, and this is more about personal preference than anything, and I have got telebroadcast on. The reason I like telebroadcast so much is it's quite zoomed out, but it's not zoomed out far enough to where you can't really focus on one player. If you're trying to beat a man, if you're trying to do some skill moves, you kind of want to be relatively zoomed in on them so you can focus on, you know, getting the skill move right, getting the shot right, beating the man correctly. Telebroadcast is zoomed in to a point where it's not like co-op, but it's also not as zoomed out as co-op, so you kind of get the best of both worlds, in my opinion. I actually used to use back in the day dynamic, and this is insanely zoomed in. You really need to be on telebroadcast, or tele's quite good as well, and also no custom camera settings, just the defaults work for me. You can tinker around with this a little bit if you want to. It is quite a nice addition from EA. It's been in for loads of years though, but that can help you as well if you do want to just change it slightly. But overall, telebroadcast has been my favorite for years and years and years, and I've used this even when I used to compete professionally. This is what I used to use. Now, these are the super duper important ones, guys. These are the gameplay game settings. Now, of course, the preset for me is competitive. You're going to use this in FUT Champs and Division Rivals no matter what, so you might as well get used to it in other game modes as well. I would not change from this, and this just works the best if you are going to be playing FUT Champs and Division Rivals. Shot assistance is assisted, and yeah, if you put this on manual, yeah, I mean, precision's quite good. People do like using this, and I know why, and I believe the pros are going to have to use this year. I'm going to try this very soon, but the one that I use and have used for years and years and years again is assisted. This is one of the most important ones that you'll have, and yeah, it's a massive learning curve. Time finishing. This can change a 30% shot into like a 70% shot, honestly, and your 90% shots are now 99% shots. It is that kind of level of improvement on your shots if you can get time finishing down, and this is one of the things that all of the good players use, right? If you're in a one-on-one, I still like to time my shots. If you're 40 yards out and you're going for a power shot, still looking to time it. Trivella's finesse shots, all at 9 yards, you're going to be wanting to time your shots every time. And yes, this does take a lot of time to learn. I think there's 2 frames that you can get the green on, and if you miss them, it's going to be yellow or red timed. Of course, you don't want red timed or yellow timed. If you feel like you just can't learn it and you've given it a good go, turn it off. But I'm telling you, time finishing is one of the most clutch things on FIFA/FC, and you really should learn this. Now guys, it's time to move on to the passing, and some of these are interesting, but I'm telling you, these are the best, and these will positively impact your FC25 experience in Ultimate Team. Auto flare pass is off by default because of the competitive setting. Through pass assistance, this is actually quite crazy because I used to believe this used to say assisted, but now it's only semi, so you kind of need to have incisive pass plus players to get good through balls. Same with lob through pass as well. Maybe this was semi last year, but it does feel like they've changed this, guys. I'm not entirely sure if they have, but I'm pretty certain that this was on assisted last year. Ground pass assistance, you want on assisted. As much as you can get on assisted, I would say do so. There is an argument for crossing being on semi, but I do prefer assisted. Semi can give you better crosses if you're a bit more accurate, but assisted for me. So don't really do too much crossing anyway, especially in the early game when there's not many players with aerial plus. There's not much point in having this on semi. Lob pass assistance is very important to have on assisted as well. This is for long ball pass plus and getting these to work really nicely. This is a big one that a lot of people don't use. Now, if you have bad connection, you're going to want to change this. If you have good connection, if you get like, I would say 30 ms or lower in games, have this on animation start. Not a lot of people like this or know about this, I should say, actually. And this is for quick reactions, essentially. Pass receiver lock. The pass receiver is locked early at the time when the kicking animation starts. Power up is a terrible one. I wouldn't use this. Your two options are late or animation start. So what late does, the pass receiver is locked as late as possible, around the same approximate time as when the ball is kicked. That's approximate, right? This is when the kicking animation starts. So if you're someone that plays quite heavy on the counter attack or has twitch reactions, this is going to work a lot better, so you can kind of get moving forward quicker in your head, if that makes any sense, because as soon as you press X or A and you've aimed your pass, that is where it's going. With late, you get a bit more time to change it, and I find that changing it never really works if you change it at the last second, or milliseconds we're talking here ultimately. And animation start is the best if you're playing on 30 ms or lower ping, in my opinion. As we move on to defending, guys, this is an interesting one yet again, because we got this last year. There's only one setting I recommend changing here, or considering changing, and that is the actual defending part of this. You've got advanced defending or tactical defending. Now, advanced defending is the one that got introduced last year, I want to say, and if you get close to the player and hold X, you can kind of do like a barred shoulder to shoulder shield, and in my opinion is really overrated. I would much rather EA make the decision for me on whether they're going to go in for a barge or a kind of heavy tackle than having to press the button myself. That's two options you've got. Advanced defending is you do it manually essentially, and tactical defending is EA kind of choose to kind of animation that is going to be used when you're tackling, basically. It's not as simple as that, but that's just the crux of it, really. You know, the X button with advanced defending, as you can see there, to attempt a shoulder challenge or a seal out. This was used last year, and I really didn't like it. And, you know, a lot of people were kind of wax lyrical about it, and I really don't think it's that effective. As I say, I'd much rather EA make the decision for me, and you can see that it says square there. The reason for that is because I play on alternate, so that's why that's saying square. I press square to stand tackle and circle to slide tackle. So have this on tactical defending, guys. Have this on tactical defending. It is better in the long run. Yeah, this can be really good if you are like the best on the game, but tactical defending is more reliable, I would say, and gives you more options in terms of defending than having to do it manually with advanced. I hope I've explained that well. It's a really important setting to get right that. Try both, but I'm telling you, tactical defending is better. Now, guys, we are moving on to switching, and there's a few interesting things in here as well this year. A lot of people think that a lot of mistakes they make are down to EA, but it actually comes down to this tab right here, and that's, of course, player switching. Now, I have this auto switching on air balls and loose balls. You really want it on that. You definitely don't want manual. Only on air balls makes a little bit of sense. Automatic, please do not have that on. That is terrible. Only on loose balls, once again, is another option for you, but I like to have both of them. You might as well have both of them. Air balls and loose balls. Auto switching is very good. Auto switching move assistance. Have this on none. You can read the description there for yourself. You don't want that. You don't want that. Right stick switching. Now, wow. I remember actually using this before on adaptive, and you don't want that. That's the one where it gives you like the line across the pitch. That's terrible. Classic is the one to go for always, guys, on right stick switching. And under right stick switching, guys, we have got right stick switching reference. Now, player relative is the one to go for, but ball relative might be worth trying out. I don't mind this personally. It's a bit of a learning curve yet again. I prefer player relative just about, but ball relative could be something interesting to try out as well. I mean, everybody has problems with right stick switching, so getting these kind of settings correct for you is important, but player relative is just slightly better. As you can see with the description there, the player who you control acts as the center point of reference for any right stick switching, and of course, for the other one, it is going to be the ball itself. And they both are good, you know, they both are good. I just prefer player relative just about. Right stick switching sensitivity. Now, if you've got a new controller, you're going to want this on like 8. If you trust yourself to make the right decisions in right stick switching, you can also have this a little bit higher as well. I've got mine on 6. Now, what I would say as well is look at this sensitivity here as similar to like Call of Duty sensitivity. So, you know, if you want it to be really flicky and almost like I don't know how to explain it really, but the higher you have it, the smaller movement you make on the right stick, it's going to switch, and it could get a bit messy. Now also just make sure as well, next player switching, you just have this on classic. You know, closest to the ball is cool, goal side, they're all quite cool, but classic is the thing that's worked for years, and you want to keep it on that. This is one that is going around in the community at the moment. Reaction time modifier. Now, have a little read of that description, and people are saying that turning this off is making the menus quicker. It's not. I promise you it's not. I think it's intended to do so. What I would do, guys, is I would actually put it on and then turn it all the way down like that and then turn it off. It's not working exactly as intended, but I would definitely have this turned off when EA do fix this, because it's a ridiculous thing to have on the game. This is introduced just this year, and it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy that this is in the game, and it just shouldn't be there. It just shouldn't be there. It's like made for noobs. Apparently, it's meant to help the menus, but I certainly haven't felt a change in the menus with this. As we move on, we have got another one similar to time finishing that is absolutely vital that you learn, and that is player lock. Now, L3, R3 in together puts you on to a different symbol above your head, and then you flick with the right stick to someone else whilst you're controlling the guy, you know, that you would usually. He's going to still have possession of the ball, but you're going to flick off to someone else and manually run them into the position that you want them to be in. This works really well for cutbacks, and it works really well for running in behind. It's also really good for baiting opponents out. So you can play lock on someone, and they're going to mark that instead of coming close to you. It gives you more time on the ball, and then you can flick off this by holding in L3 and R3 again. It just gives you lots of options, and is really, really quite overpowered. Now, guys, we are down to the end of the controller settings now, and first of all, dribbling, contextual dribbling is turned off by default, and this is because I have got the competitive setting turned on. Save assistance comes out as semi. I don't want to mess with that because it's goalkeepers and they're out of my control entirely, so keep that on semi. Analog sprint, this is definitely one to check in your settings, because if this is on, this is absolutely horrifyingly bad. Analog sprint allows you to control how fast you sprint. Oh dear, that sounds quite good, doesn't it? Full stop. The further you hold R2, the faster the player will run. The further you hold R2, that's just stupid, isn't it? That's just really, really silly. And this will actually slow you down in game, so you don't want this. Trigger effect. Please, 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 if you're one of them noobs that still got this on, please just go and turn it off. You do not want anything interfering with your jockey speed, your pace, your L2 Travellas, and that's what this can do, right? If you have this turned on, it will give you resistance in the R2 and L2 buttons. And yeah, this is cool in Spider-Man, and it's cool in other single-player games, but in a competitive game like FC25, with FUT Champs rewards on the line, Division Rival rewards on the line, you want to make sure that you've got no crutches, essentially. And this being turned on, even though it's ridiculous, is a little bit of a crutch. So make sure you have that turned off. User vibration feedback. This one's pretty simple as well. Somewhat similar to the trigger effect, but not as impactful on letting you down in the very, very tight scenarios. This is like, you know, when you're taking a shot, there'll be a little vibration on the controller. Now, I used to use this all the time on Call of Duty. We've referenced Call of Duty twice now 3 times. And I used to think that I had to have this on to help with my aim, just because I was so used to the vibration when I'm shooting that I had to have it on. But turning it off actually gave me more control over my gun. And similar with FC25, I just feel like you get, even though it's so minor, you get a little bit more control over the controller, right? And I know that sounds absurd, but that is the God's honest truth. And those are all of my gameplay controller settings for FC25. I hope this has helped you. Please, please, please do try and use this. It's not going to work for you straight away if this is all new to you, but the two main ones are time finishing and player lock, guys. Put them on and they will help you. If you have enjoyed today's video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell to miss a video. But guys, that is going to be it from me for now, so take care.